What is up, everybody? Welcome to Get Paid for Your Pad, episode 601. Today is Thanksgiving Day, so I want to start with by wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving holiday. Today's Thursday. When you're listening to this, it might be Friday or Saturday, but I'm about to head off to Mexico for the weekend. Me and my wife and our little dog, we're actually going to Valle de Guadalupe, which is the wine country in Mexico. There's about 100 wineries down there, which I didn't know. And since I live in San Diego, we can literally take an Uber to the border. We can cross the border into Mexico, rented a car at Tijuana Airport, and we're going to spend 4 or 5 days driving around the wine country, checking out some wineries, having some wine. So really looking forward to it. There's also a lot of really great food, I heard, in this region. So we made some reservations at some pretty awesome restaurants. So super excited to take a few days off. But before I leave for Mexico, of course, wanted to get a podcast in for the Friday. And today I'm gonna talk about discounts. Just gonna be talking about discounts. And I'll probably don't have enough time. Actually, I might do another one on Monday. But discounting is a big topic, and recently, if you've been following this podcast, then you probably know that I've been really focusing on revenue management, right? Because for Freewyld, our hospitality brand that Eric and I just launched a couple of weeks ago, my main role in that company is going to be the revenue management. Now, as of right now, we just launched. We only have 4 properties online. But as we're going to be expanding, I'm going to be solely focused on revenue management. Right now, I have to wear multiple hats as our Freewyld team is still fairly small. So I'm wearing multiple hats, but eventually I want to focus solely on the revenue management side. Also, I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks ago, we actually launched a revenue management course. I think this is really the first course in our industry that really focuses on revenue management. And we had a couple dozen students that signed up for it. And I've been working with these students over the last 6 weeks to help them set up their pricing tool, create a real revenue management strategy, create the rhythms every day, every week, every month. Like, what are we looking at? What data do we need to look at to really make informed decisions about our pricing strategy, right? How do we make informed decisions to change our prices on the daily, weekly, and monthly basis? What kind of data do we need to be looking at? And through this process, both on the Freewyld side and also through cash flow mastery, I'm just learning a lot. Not just learning new things for my own revenue management strategy, but I'm also kind of learning what our students are doing, what mistakes they are making, and also things that they are not aware of that you can do as part of your revenue management strategy that I think is very beneficial. And so I want to cover a number of these things, and this all has to do with discounts. Discounting is a very broad topic actually within revenue management, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Of course, you might have a discount set up as your strategy in your revenue management in your pricing tool. For example, a lot of people have like a 20, maybe 30% last minute discount that typically would be spread out over the last like 30 days or so. So if somebody wants to book 28 days out, they might get like a 2% discount. If they book 15 days out, it might be like a 10 or a 15, right? And this is something that you can set up in your pricing tool. That if you're using a pricing tool, you probably have something similar set up. But today, what I really want to talk about is not so much the pricing that's part of your pricing strategy in your pricing tool, but more things that we can do on Airbnb to get some additional benefits. Okay, so I'm not talking about giving a discount when somebody reaches out to you and sending them a special offer, for example, right? That's something that you can do. We typically don't do that. I don't really like giving out discounts, individual discounts to people when they reach out, because when people reach out for a discount, they're typically not going to be the most enjoyable guest, from my experience. And besides that, we have a very specific pricing strategy set up. So there's a reason behind why the prices are as they are, and so we didn't really see a reason to give additional discounts to people when they just because they asked for it, right? Now, there's one exception. We do provide discounts to our past guests. So we send out emails to our past guests and give them like special deals. We'll give them like 10 or 15, 20% off for certain dates. And we use that as a tool to fill up our calendar. And the reason that we do provide these discounts to our past guests is because these past guests are they've already stayed with us, and it was a great experience for both us and the guest, because otherwise they wouldn't be on our email list. And it's like when somebody's already stayed with you, then they already know the property, so you get fewer questions, and they've already stayed with you. If it was a great experience, they're probably not going to cause any problems. So they're like a lower risk guest, really. And also, like, you want to create some loyalty with your past guests, right? So giving your past guests a discount makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you see this in all sorts of industries. The airline industry, the hotel industry, there's all these, whatever you buy, even if I buy at 7-Eleven, there's a rewards program, there's a loyalty rewards program pretty much everywhere. So it makes sense to give your loyal customers a better price, right? But today, what I really want to focus on is the discounts that you can set on Airbnb itself, and there's some benefits that you can get from that, because Airbnb really wants us to provide discounts, right? Because they want to be an affordable platform, and also they want to convert more, right? They want to convert more viewers into bookers, right? And they have a number of tools that will increase that conversion, and discounts is a big part of that. Because obviously, like, when you apply a discount, the price is going to go down, but also Airbnb will has a few features. Like, for example, they do 4 things to help you increase your conversion when you add a discount on Airbnb. Number 1 is you get an extra line item in the price breakdown. So let's say you have like a long stay discount. Let's say it's a weekly long stay discount of 10%. And if somebody searches for a week in your calendar, then you get an extra line item in the price breakdown that says like a weekly discount of X amount of dollars, right? Number 2 is they can also do the strike through on the Airbnb price, right? So you'll see like what the original price was, and then you see strike through, and then you'll see like the actual price, right? So these are 2 things. Then the third thing is Airbnb will sometimes they will add a call out underneath the price breakdown. I'm going to share my screen in a few minutes here, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see what this looks like. But the call out is the third kind of promotional tool that Airbnb will give you, and then the fourth one is they'll send out emails to their customer base to promote your listing. And whether these 4 benefits apply also depends on the amount of the discount. And I've also noticed that it doesn't always make sense, the logic. So sometimes you think that you're going to get it, but you don't get it. Obviously, the emails we don't know, because we can't really see if Airbnb is going to send them out. But the strike through and the call out and the extra line item, those are the 3 things that you can test. So you can set a discount and see if it actually shows up. But what Airbnb says is that if your discount is at least 10%, then you get the strike through and you get the extra line item. If it's 15% or more, you get the call out. And then if it's 20% or more, you also get the email. But I've noticed that logic is not always valid. So I'm actually going to share my screen. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. If you're not watching on YouTube, then I'll do my best to explain it over audio. But but yeah, I've noticed that a lot of hosts are not aware of this functionality. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share my screen here. Just 1 second. Okay, there we go. Boom. All right, so we have our listings here on Airbnb. So first of all, I want to explain where you can actually set these discounts, because a lot of people are not aware of that. So what you want to do is you want to go to your dashboard, and then you want to click on calendar. And if you sign up for the new Airbnb layout, then this might already be different, because I've noticed that in some markets, the the new listing setup inside Airbnb has already been updated. I was talking to a host has listings in Puerto Rico, but he lives in San Francisco, and his complete layout of the Airbnb has already been updated. But ours is still the old version. So anyway, so the way to find these discount settings is you go to calendar, and then you have to click on one of your listings, and then you'll get if you're using a pricing tool, you probably get a pop-up that says your settings are limited. You can edit all pricing and availability settings in your property management software or your pricing tool. In my case, it says property management software. And that's actually an important point to mention before I dive into this. Depending on your PMS, you might be able to set certain discounts inside of your PMS or even in your pricing app. For example, we use long stay discounts, and we can only set that up inside of Airbnb. But if we'd had a different PMS, then we might have been able to set it up in Price Labs. And I've noticed this is it's very dependent on your PMS and what pricing tool you're using, where you should be setting these discounts. So that's just something to keep in mind. Make sure you understand, where to set up these discounts if you have to do it in your pricing tool or your PMS or straight on Airbnb. So in our case, we're using Price Labs and Hostfully. So in our case, a lot of these discounts, we have to do it directly on Airbnb, okay? All right, so after you click on the listing, now you see on the right side, you see there's a vertical column where it says pricing and it says availability. All right, at the top it says base price, then it says custom weekend price. Now that's, for us, the source of truth there is in Price Labs, so it doesn't matter what's on Airbnb there. It's going to take the price from Price Labs. But below that, you'll see there's a section that says discounts. Okay, there are a number of discounts that you can set. There's the long stay discounts. They have the weekly and they have the monthly. So as you can see, we have it set at 13% for weekly discount, and we have a monthly of 20%. And then below that, there's a button that says more discounts. And if you click on that, you'll see there's a whole bunch of other discounts that you can set. For example, you can set the early bird discount. So you could say, hey, X amount of months before arrival, we're going to give you a discount. And now I know that most people actually do the opposite. Most people will add a premium to far out bookings. But it's kind of interesting because you could, for example, set a 10% premium on, let's say, bookings that are 3 months or more out, and then in your pricing tool. But then you go on Airbnb and you can set a 10% early bird discount. So then the two discounts the premium and discount cancel each other out. But what's nice is then you get those benefits, those 4 benefits that I mentioned. You might get some of them. So you might get a strike through, or you might get like extra line item that might help conversion, even though the price technically stays the same, right? Anyway, so you can do the early bird discount. You can do a last minute discount as well. So you could say, any amount of days between 1 and 28 before arrival, you can set a discount. You can't do the gradual discount though. What you can do in Price Labs and probably in those other tools as well, where you could, as I mentioned, you could say, hey, I want to do like 20% discount for the last 30 days, but you want it to be gradual. So the higher the fewer the days before check-in, the higher the discount. But on Airbnb, you could just set, for example, I could say like, hey, 10 days before arrival, we'll do like a 5%, right? But then you could add, but you could add as many as you want. So you could kind of layer, you could say like, 10 days for arrival, it's this, 15 days, it's that. So you can add as many as you want. And then if you do that, so for example, let me see. Well, let me walk you through the other discounts first. So you can add as many early bird and last minute discounts as you want. Then the next one is trip length discount. So this is generally more commonly known as length of stay discounts, right? So a lot of hosts have a weekly and a monthly, but you can actually set a free. You can even do like a 2 night, 2 night discount, right? So for us, we have it, as you can see, if you're watching, you can see it here. We have like 5% for 3 night stay, 7% for 4 night stay, 9% for 5 night stay, 11% for 6 nights, and then 13 for a week, and then 15 for 2 week, 17 for 3 weeks, and then 20 for monthly stay. Now in our market, we never get these longer stays, so it doesn't really matter, but it makes sense. From my perspective, it makes sense. We want to encourage people to book the longer stays. So it makes sense to give them not just a weekly and a monthly, but even like a 3 night stay. We'd rather have somebody book a 3 night than a 2 night. So we want to encourage people to do that. Now, the question is that 5% really going to matter for a 3 night versus 2 night? I don't know. I mean, small discount, but here's the beauty of it. So I'm going to go into our calendar now on Airbnb and select a 3 night stay. And ta-da, as you can see, you now get a little line item that says long stay discount. And I think that might help with conversion, because if people will love getting discounts, right? So if somebody looks at our listing and puts in like a 3 night stay and they see, oh, we're getting a discount, I think that might increase the chance that they're actually going to book that stay. Also, people, when they see that, people might think, oh, well, what's going to happen if we stay 4 nights, right? So they might go in our calendar and like they might, play around with it. People are flexible and they'll see like, oh, if we book 4 nights, we get a bigger discount, because our discounts go up for every night. Now, as you can see, we don't see the strike through here, but we do have the call out, even though our discount is less than 20%. And Airbnb says that, or it's less than 15%. Airbnb says that the call out is only applies for 15 and 20% discounts, but sometimes it shows up anyway. So that's why I was saying, like, it doesn't always make sense. So I highly recommend go into your Airbnb listing and play around with these discounts, and then just see like how does it actually show up on the guest side. Now let me select I'll select a week here. Let me just go to February, because then our calendar is empty, so it's easy to select the dates. So if I select a week, now it says weekly stay discount, and now we have the strike through here at the top. So it says instead of $426, the price is now $354. And also we have the call out. This is a rare find. Freewild's place is usually fully booked. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that we're still getting those call outs. It seems like no matter what we do, we always get a call out. If I do 3 nights, now I suddenly get the strike through for the different dates. I get the strike through, and sometimes you don't get the strike through. It's so random. But now it doesn't give me the additional line item on the price breakdown, but it does give me the call out. So anyway, my point is, you want to experiment with these discounts. One thing that you have to be very careful with, and this happened to a number of students that I've been working with. Sometimes if you apply multiple discounts, sometimes Airbnb will only apply one. So for example, somebody in our mastermind, he what he was doing is like he raised his prices on his pricing tool, and then he added like a custom promotion for all of his dates to counter that price increase, to get these benefits that I've been talking about, right? I was talking to him, and I showed him like how we were setting up these long stay discounts, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool. Let me implement that too." And then he implemented it. But then suddenly, a couple days later, he was like, "Holy crap! My prices have gone up by a lot." And it turned out that the setting up the long stay discounts actually was canceling out the custom promotion. So you have to be a little careful with that. But let me show you how to set up that custom price promotion. So underneath the the longest stay discounts and the last minute and the early birds, there's another section that says promotions. Now, if you click on the custom promotion tab, Airbnb will then ask you to select certain dates. And I've noticed you can only set up a promotion for the next 3 months. So as you can see on my calendar here, like February 21st and onwards is blocked out. So we'll select some dates here. So let me select February 6 to 13. And I'm going to add a custom promotion. And when you do that, now you can see like what kind of benefits you get from Airbnb, because it'll give you like a sliding bar where you can select the discounts, and then it will show you if you get which of those 4 benefits you get. So if I put it at 10%, then it says, oh, you get a new line item on your price breakdown and you get the strike through. But then if I move it up to 15, then I get a special call out. And then if I move it up to 20 or more, then it's placement in emails to guests. All right, so let me set it at 20% for those dates. And now I want to see what happens on our on the guest side here. So I've added this promotion for the 13th until the 20th. So let me select that entire week. So I'm selecting the 13th to the 20th. And now it basically shows me the same thing as before, because I also have that weekly discount. So now, yeah, there's that promotion, but there's also the weekly discount of 13%. And what I'm noticing now is that it's not actually applying that 20% promo discount. It's actually applying our 13% weekly discount. So that's why it's like that's why it's kind of tricky. And you really have to trial and error and kind of test different things out, because yeah, Airbnb, when you go into the help section, it says, oh, if you have multiple discounts, we'll apply all of them. So it should be on top of each other. So in this case, the client should get the weekly discount and the promotion, but they're only getting the weekly. But if I select different dates, now I'm going to select the 14th to the 17th. Again, it's not now it's just applying the long stay discount. Let me select some other dates as well. I'm going to go 16 to 19. Yeah, so now it's it's only giving me the long stay discount. It's not giving me the strike through, and it is giving me the call out. So again, it doesn't really make sense. 6 to 13. Let me wait. Let me try this. Oh, I was adding the wrong dates. Okay, let me try again. So 7 to 10. Yeah, so it's not still not applying that custom promotion. So when you set up these discounts, just make sure, check if it's actually working out. I might have to remove those long stay discounts and then apply the custom promotion to actually get that custom promotion to work. But I really like the long stay discounts. It's something that we implemented recently, and yeah, I feel like it helps with conversion. But I'm gonna need a little bit more time and a little bit more data to really see what the effect is, of course. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting to dive into these discounts. And also, I know that this is a big deal for Airbnb, these discounts. So I do really believe that when you have some sort of discount set up in Airbnb, like I think it helps with conversions, the strike through and the extra line item. I also have a suspicion that Airbnb is probably going to give you better visibility in the search results as well if you apply these discounts. So go ahead, check it out. Again, make sure that you check out the documentation in your PMS if you want to apply some of these discounts, because you might have to set it in your pricing tool or on your PMS or directly on Airbnb. All right, so I'm gonna keep it at I'm going to, how do you say that? I'm gonna wrap up this podcast, and I'm going to pack my bag, and we're going to jump in an Uber, go to the Mexican border with Mexico, and we're going to have some fun in Mexican wine country. I'll do another podcast on this topic. I'll talk about some other type of discounts that we are using. For example, we're playing around with like the gaps, right? The orphan nights. We're playing around with the adjacent days, like so you could also set discounts like if somebody books an adjacent day, because obviously like we want to, like if we have like a 5 night gap in our calendar or something, we'd rather have people book the free nights that are adjacent to one side of the calendar gap versus like booking the free nights in between, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do to kind of optimize your calendar and give people incentives to book the dates that you prefer them to book, right? So that's it for today. Last but not least, I also want to mention that, of course, it's Black Friday today, and everyone's giving out giant discounts and promotions. I've been getting hundreds of emails from all sorts of companies offering all sorts of great deals. And Eric and I actually had our offsite last week, which we do. We try to do this every quarter, where we go somewhere and we shut down everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, and we're just thinking high level on the strategy for our business. We did this last week, both for Freewyld and also for Overnight Success. And one thing that we discussed was like we've never really done like a Black Friday promo. Like everyone does that, and we were thinking, you know what? Let's do a killer Black Friday promo. Let's put something really, really cool together for the community, especially for the people who have, who know about our programs. Like, I'm sure if you've listened to this podcast for a while, then we got Legends X. We recently launched the Cashflow Mastery. We've done other programs in the past as well, but as of right now, the main programs that we have is like Legends X, Cashflow Mastery, and then we have our mastermind as well, right? Our Rising Stars mastermind, where we have about 50 or so operators in that mastermind, which is awesome. Because every week we do a call, we get guest speakers into the calls to teach us different things. We have a Slack community where we can talk to each other on a daily basis, so it's pretty powerful community. But anyway, we thought, you know what, like for Black Friday, we're going to create a bundle. So we've never done this before, but we thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could just offer like all these free programs as a promotion all at once for people that have been listening, have been on the fence maybe in the past of like, should I join Legends X or not? You've been on the fence. It's a powerful program. There's hundreds of students that have gone through it who have who've been getting amazing results that we're very proud of. But for whatever reason, maybe you couldn't afford it, wasn't the right time, or whatever it is. Well, now's the time. We're now giving you a crazy Black Friday bundle where you can literally, for a very affordable price, you can get all 3 of the programs. All right, so Cashflow Mastery and Legends X and Rising Star Mastermind. The Mastermind the Cashflow Mastery and Legends X will for lifetime, so you'll never have to buy another course again. Pretty much covers everything you want to know. But then also we're giving you 90 days inside of our Mastermind as well, which is pretty cool because we've recorded every single training that we've done in the last, I don't know, like 3-4 years. We've recorded every single training that we've done, and we probably have over 100 trainings in there that we have recorded that you can get direct access to if you join the mastermind. So it's not just like the 90 days, like the weekly calls that we have and the daily connection with us, but also with all the other companies. You'll also be able to literally have all the trainings that we've done in the past. So it's pretty cool, I think, what we put together. So anyway, long story short, I created a pretty link, getpaidforyourpad.com/Black Friday. So getpaidforyourpad.com/Black Friday. No dashes, no nothing, just Black Friday. And that's where you can find our special bundle promotion Black Friday offer. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you really want to grow your business, pretty much a no-brainer in my opinion. Of course, I mean, we're the ones who are selling it, so we're obviously very confident about our own products. But anyway, yeah, go check it out. This offer is valid until November 29th. So we're giving you guys a few days to, check it out, consider it. But then November 29th is the last day that will be available. And also we did put a limit on it because there's quite a lot of fulfillment that comes along with these free programs. So we can't have a limited amount of people join. So we did put a limit on it. You'll see on the page how many there's still available. So with that said, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday, and I'll be back on Monday with another podcast. I'll cover some other strategies within our revenue management that we recently started trying out. So I'll see you next time.